so for something like this, the parent function for this equation is what? Or for this graph? It's an absolute value. So we're going to start with y is equal to the absolute value of x minus something plus or minus something, right? Now, identify, since this graph gets flipped vertically or horizontally, which one is it? Again, the original graph looks like this, so it flips vertically. That means the negative is going to go where? Outside our function or inside the function? It's going to go on the outside. So we put a negative out front, and then all the shifting rules still apply. So this vertex gets shifted vertically down how many units? So it's a -2 on the outside, and it gets shifted horizontally how many units? 7 to the right, so it's plus an x minus a 7, or a positive 7. So it stays in that form, and this would be the equation that relates, or the equation that identifies this graph. Yep. Kevin.
You know, or I guess it doesn't really matter, but if the symmetrical function is flipped horizontally.
So like if there was no horizontal shift in this, and it was this,
Yeah.
what you could see is it winds up being either. It would work for either. Like linear functions are like that too, right? If I took a linear function here, and I said a sketch y equals, a negative x plus 7, I mean, like, you can think of it as reflecting either vertically or horizontally. It's going to give you the same thing. So if that comes up, though, what I would do is treat it as a vertical reflection, because most of what I'm going to give you are going to be vertical reflections, not as many horizontal ones. Okay. All right, so I want you to try this one here on your own. See if you can come up with the equation for that parabola. You look at the parent function of this, the parent function is going to be what? X squared. So we're going to have x plus or minus something squared plus or minus something. Now, notice when I say this, I say x plus or minus something, but I write x minus something, right? Because if this becomes, if it is a negative shift here, I just take a minus and it becomes a plus. So it gives me just that general template to use. Okay, so the first thing is, does my graph open in the same direction as I was expecting? No. So where does that negative go? In front, outside the function. Okay, and then what was my vertical shift? It goes up 8, so plus 8 falls outside my function. And what was my horizontal shift? 9, so it's x minus a positive 9, so just x minus 9. And that gives me the equation